So you just finished recording a killer podcast episode.
Oh, right.
You hit publish, and then...
Crickets.
Ugh, tell me about it. It can feel like you're shouting into a void sometimes, you know? Especially after shelling out hundreds or even thousands of bucks for some guru course that promised you the world,
Oh, yeah.
and all you got was a handful of dust.
It's such a common trap. Those courses are all hype and no substance.
Exactly. And that's why this no BS guide to AI-powered podcast growth is like a breath of fresh air. It's like a secret weapon created by the podcast doctor. And it's designed to take that one episode you worked so hard on and turn it into a content empire.
A content empire.
Yeah, kind of YouTube, blogs, social media, you name it. And it's not about vague theories or empty promises.
Yeah.
It's packed with AI prompts you can actually use to get real results.
That's what I like about it. It acknowledges right up front that there's no magic formula.
Right.
You still need to make great content. That's always step one.
Absolutely.
But this guide gives you the tools to leverage AI to get your content in front of more people. Work smarter, not harder.
Okay, so let's unpack how this works. The guide is structured in a very clear, easy-to-follow way. It's broken down into sections with specific goals and prompts for each. Like, one thing that jumped out at me were the prompts for creating YouTube titles and descriptions.
Oh, yeah, those are great. We're not talking about just any old titles. We're talking about titles that are optimized for search engines, designed to grab attention, get those clicks.
Exactly. Like AI marketing secrets, 10x your podcast growth fast, or the AI content framework revolutionizing podcasting.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just plugging in your episode's key points and having AI spit out these amazing titles?
I mean, it's pretty mind-blowing, right? And that's just scratching the surface.
Right. You can even use the AI prompts to turn your episode into different types of blog posts.
Oh, totally.
Not just a plain transcript, but in-depth analyses, human interest stories, even thought leadership pieces that position you as an expert in your field.
What's so cool is that it's encouraging you to think beyond your podcast, to create content that speaks to different people on different platforms.
Exactly. Say you have an episode about how a podcaster used AI to turn their side hustle into a full-time gig. You could use the guide's AI prompts to write a story-driven blog post with a title like, From Side Hustle to Movement, How This Podcaster Used AI to Change the Game. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's marketing gold. It's like, why didn't I think of that before?
Because we get so caught up in the day-to-day of podcasting. We need someone to come in and show us these different avenues. And that's what this guide does so well.
It really does.
It opens up all these possibilities and gives you a clear path to explore them. Okay, so we've got YouTube and blog content covered. What about social media?
Oh, man.
That's a whole other beast.
It is. It is.
It can feel like the biggest time suck. Trying to create unique content for each platform, staying consistent, keeping up with the algorithms, it's exhausting.
It really is. But this is where the No BS guide truly shines. I mean, it gives you prompts for every platform you can think of.
Wait, seriously?
Seriously. We're talking Twitter threads, LinkedIn posts that establish you as a thought leader, Facebook posts that get people talking and build community.
Hold on. I need to process this for a second. So I can take my episode, plug it into one of these AI prompts, and it'll create a whole Twitter thread for me. With a catchy hook, insightful takeaways, and even a call to action to drive traffic back to my podcast.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like having a whole team of social media experts at your beck and call.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. But wait, it gets even better. What about sponsorships?
Oh, yeah.
Landing sponsors always feels like such a mystery. Like, who do you even reach out to? What do you say?
Right? It can be so intimidating.
It is.
But this is the cool part. The No BS guide actually has a whole section devoted to this. It walks you through crafting those outreach emails, building pitch decks, and even setting up follow-up sequences, all powered by AI.
Wait a minute, are you serious? I can have AI help me write an email that will convince a brand to sponsor my podcast.
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but it's true.
This is like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Mm-hmm.
But how does it actually work?
The guide breaks it down into really manageable steps. First, you use AI to research potential sponsors. You look at their target audience, their values, their past sponsorships. You're looking for that perfect overlap between your podcast and their brand.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then you use the AI prompts to craft personalized outreach messages that highlight what makes your show unique and valuable, why this partnership would be a win-win for both sides.
Wow. So I'm not just blasting out generic mass emails and crossing my fingers.
Nope.
I'm actually using AI to find the right sponsors and tailor my message to them.
Exactly. It's all about working smarter, not harder. And the guide even gives you prompts for writing follow-up emails that keep that conversation going and increase your chances of landing that deal.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
I am so on board with this. But what about building a community around your podcast? Turning those listeners into raving fans who can't wait for each new episode?
That's so important for long-term growth. And of course, the No BS Guide has you covered. It gives you tons of prompts for sparking discussions, running challenges, even creating those listener spotlights that make your audience feel like superstars.
Now you're talking, making people feel like they're a part of something special.
Yeah.
But what kind of AI prompts are we talking about here? Give me some specifics.
Well, imagine this. You take a key takeaway from your episode, plug it into a prompt, and the AI spits out this perfectly worded question to get people talking on social media. It's like an endless supply of conversation starters, all tailored to your podcast and your audience.
That's brilliant. I love it. And what about those listener spotlights? How do those work?
Picture this. Every week, you feature a different listener on your social media. Share their story and how your podcast has impacted their lives. It's a great way to show appreciation, build loyalty.
Oh, that's so nice.
And make your listeners feel valued.
I love that. And of course, there are prompts to help you create those spotlights, make sure they're engaging and impactful. I'm getting chills.
Right.
That's such a great way to build a sense of community. And the fact that AI can help you come up with these ideas and even generate the content. I mean, this is incredible.
Right. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
I love that. This guide really is like having a whole team of content marketers and social media experts at your fingertips.
It really is. It helps you multiply your podcast's reach without burning yourself out in the process.
And the best part, it cuts through all the fluff and gets straight to the point. It's the antidote to all those overhyped guru courses that promise you the moon and deliver a bag of rocks.
It's all about empowering podcasters to achieve their goals without breaking the bank or losing their sanity.
I love that.
Working smarter, not harder.
Couldn't agree more.
And one thing that really makes this guide stand out is how it dives deep into content repurposing.
It's funny. You always hear people talking about repurposing content.
Right.
It sounds so simple on the surface,
It does.
but so many podcasters struggle with it.
Yeah, I get it.
We put all this effort into making an episode,
You do.
and then it just sits there on our feed, gathering dust.
It's like baking this amazing cake
Okay, I like where you're going with this.
and then only letting a few people try it.
Yes, that's the perfect analogy. This guide is all about turning that single cake into a whole dessert buffet. It's about taking your core content, that one episode, and transforming it for different platforms.
Exactly. The No BS Guide shows you how to get the most mileage out of your podcast. Like, imagine you have this incredible conversation packed with insights and actionable advice.
Yeah.
But instead of just leaving it as audio, you use AI to turn it into a YouTube video, blog posts, social media snippets.
You're creating this whole ecosystem of content.
Exactly.
An ecosystem.
All stemming from that one episode.
It's brilliant.
Not just about copying and pasting the same thing everywhere, though.
No, definitely not. It's about adapting it for each platform, speaking the language of that platform, resonating with the people who hang out there.
And that's where those AI prompts come in. So let's say you have an episode about the future of podcasting, right?
Okay.
Packed with predictions and trends. You could use one AI prompt to create a super detailed blog post that explores those ideas. Perfect for people who love to read.
Right.
And then you could use another prompt to turn that same episode into a captivating story for Facebook, something that connects with people on an emotional level.
So you're not just repeating yourself.
Nope.
You're creating something new and engaging for each platform, but it's all rooted in that original episode.
Exactly.
Okay, this is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
But wouldn't creating all those different pieces take forever?
That's the beauty of it. The AI does the heavy lifting. You provide the raw material, your episode, and the AI does the rest. It's like having a team of content writers working for you, but without the whole payroll thing.
This sounds too good to be true. Okay, let's talk about actually promoting this content. So I've created all these amazing pieces using the guide's prompts. Now, how do I get them seen by the right people?
Well, that's another area where this guide really excels. It's not just about content creation, it's about content amplification. And it gives you a ton of prompts for promoting your stuff on social media, prompts that are designed to get people engaged and drive traffic back to your podcast.
Okay, so we're not just talking about posting a link and hoping for the best.
No way, that's old school.
Right.
The No BS Guide takes a much more strategic approach. It helps you craft those compelling captions, design eye-catching visuals, and really use each platform to its full potential.
Okay, can you give me an example? Like, how would this work on Instagram? Because honestly, that's the platform I struggle with the most.
Sure. Let's say you use the guide's prompts to turn your podcast episode into a carousel post for Instagram, right? Highlighting the key takeaways in a visual way.
Oh.
The guide would then give you prompts for writing a caption that sums up the episode, includes a call to action to listen, and even suggests the right hashtags to use. It's all about making sure your content gets seen by the right people and encourages them to take action.
Wow, that's so smart. I love how the guide breaks things down into these manageable steps.
Yeah.
It takes all the guesswork out of it.
Exactly. And it's not just for Instagram. The guide has prompts for Twitter threads, LinkedIn posts, Facebook engagement posts. It's like the ultimate social media toolkit.
This is incredible.
Mm.
Okay, what's the catch? Because there has to be a catch, right? This all sounds way too good to be true.
You know, I haven't found one. This guide truly lives up to its name. It's no BS, but it's not magic,
Wow,
you know?
of course not.
You still have to create great content, and you have to be willing to try things out, see what works for your podcast and your audience.
So it's a partnership.
Yes.
The guide gives you the framework, the AI tools, the strategies. But you still need to bring your own passion and knowledge to the table.
Exactly. It's you and AI working together as a team.
I love that. You know, we've talked a lot about the practical benefits of this. Guide more listeners, sponsorships, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's also an emotional side to this.
Oh, for sure.
Imagine that feeling of finally having a system that takes the guesswork out of podcast growth.
Oh, I know, right?
You're not just throwing things at the wall anymore.
No.
You have a clear path to follow.
It's like a weight lifted off your shoulders. You feel confident, in control.
And that confidence translates into better content, more engagement.
Absolutely. It's about building something that's meaningful, something that connects with people.
That's what it's all about.
It's not just about the numbers, it's about making a difference.
And that's what makes podcasting so special, right? Is this incredible medium that has the power to connect us, inspire us, make us think differently about the world.
Totally. And this no BS guide is like this key that unlocks that power, you know?
Yeah.
It gives you the strategies and resources to create a podcast that not only grows, but thrives.
Okay, I am fired up and ready to conquer the podcasting world, armed with this guide and an AI assistant by my side. Let's dive into some of the specifics. What really stood out to you about the guide?
Well, one thing that impressed me right away was the level of detail in the prompts themselves. It's not just like write a tweet about your episode.
Right.
It's very specific guidance on what to include, the tone to use, even what call to action to add.
Yes. And it explains the reasoning behind each strategy and prompt.
Oh, absolutely. So you're not just blindly following instructions.
Right. You actually understand the why behind it all.
Exactly. And I loved the examples for each prompt, too. It helps to see how they can be used in different ways for different kinds of podcasts.
Oh, that's so helpful.
It makes it so much easier to adapt them to your own show. And that troubleshooting section, pure gold. It's so nice to know that there's guidance for when things go wrong, because let's face it, they will at some point.
Oh, they will.
It's like having a backup plan.
I love it. Another thing that impressed me is how comprehensive this guide is.
Oh, tell me about it.
It covers every aspect of podcast growth.
Content promotion, community building, monetization.
It's like the ultimate podcasting Bible.
It really is.
But it's presented in a clear, actionable way.
Yeah.
So you're not just overwhelmed with information. You can actually put it to use.
And again, it all comes back to working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Leveraging AI to free up your time and energy so you can focus on what you love, making awesome content.
And the fact that this guide is constantly being updated means you're always on the cutting edge.
Yes. It's not just a one-time purchase. It's an investment in your podcast's future.
Exactly.
And that shows you that the Podcast Doctor is serious about providing real value to podcasters.
I think this guide could be a game changer for so many people, especially those who are feeling lost or stuck.
It's such a breath of fresh air. It cuts through all the hype and gives you real, actionable strategies that work.
And it does it in a way that makes AI feel approachable and empowering, not intimidating.
Exactly. It's not about replacing human creativity. It's about enhancing it.
It's about using technology to unlock your full potential as a podcaster.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You know, as we've been talking about all these different prompts and strategies,
Yeah.
something has really struck me. This guide isn't just about getting more downloads. It's about building a podcast that lasts.
You're so right. It's about creating something sustainable, something that your audience can connect with for years to come.
It's about playing the long game.
Yes. And when your podcast really resonates with people, it's not just about the numbers.
Right.
It's about the impact you're making,
Making a difference.
one listener at a time.
And that brings us back to what makes podcasting so amazing. It has the power to connect people, to inspire, to challenge us to think differently about the world.
And the No BS guide is like a roadmap to tapping into that power.
We've talked a lot about the benefits for podcasters, but let's talk about the role of AI in all of this.
For sure. I mean, without AI, this guide wouldn't even exist.
It's the engine that makes all of this possible.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. And AI is constantly getting smarter, more intuitive, more capable of understanding what we need as creators.
It's like having a creative partner in crime.
I like that. It's not about AI replacing us. It's about AI helping us.
It's about using AI to unleash our creative potential.
And that's what's so exciting about the future of podcasting. With AI, the possibilities are limitless.
And this No BS guide is showing us the way it's empowering creators to embrace AI and do incredible things.
It's a must-read for anyone who wants to take their podcast to the next level.
So what are you waiting for? Dive into the No BS guide to AI-powered podcast growth, unleash the power of AI, and most importantly,
Have fun doing it.
as we've been going through this No BS guide, I've noticed how much it stresses strategy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about randomly trying things and hoping something works.
No, not at all.
It's about having a plan, a roadmap.
Exactly. And knowing who your audience is.
Yes, and how to reach them.
That's what makes this guide so powerful.
I agree. It's like having a podcasting coach right there with you.
Guiding you every step of the way.
And it all starts with figuring out your goals. Like, what do you want to achieve with your podcast? More downloads, a bigger community, sponsors.
Right. It helps you get clear on what success means to you.
Yeah.
And then it gives you a framework for getting there. And those AI prompts we've been talking about, they make the whole process so much easier.
So it's not just a one-time thing, right?
No, definitely not.
You're constantly learning, adapting, trying new things.
That's the key. Because the podcasting world is always changing.
What worked last year might not work today.
Exactly. You have to be flexible, and this guide helps you do that.
And it's being updated all the time, too.
Yep. So you always have the latest strategies.
The latest and greatest AI-powered strategies. I think a lot of people hear AI and they freak out.
I know, right?
It seems so complicated and technical.
Like it's the secret code that only geniuses can crack.
Exactly. And some of those guru courses out there, they prey on that fear.
Oh.
They make AI sound like this mystical thing.
Like you need to pay them a fortune to understand it.
But this guide totally demystifies AI. It shows you how to actually use it to grow your podcast. And it's written in plain English, Anyone can understand it.
That's so important. It's about empowering podcasters.
No matter their technical skills.
To use AI to their advantage. It's a tool.
Exactly. It's not going to take over the world. It's here to help us.
To help us achieve our goals.
And that's one of the biggest takeaways from this whole conversation. AI is not the enemy.
It's our friend.
It's a partner. It's a tool that can help us be more creative and reach more people.
It's about embracing what AI can do, not being afraid of it.
So if you're a podcaster who's been a little hesitant about AI,
I get it.
I really encourage you to check out this No BS guide.
It could totally change the way you think about podcasting.
And the way you think about growth, it's packed with practical advice that you can start using today.
And you might just be amazed at what you can accomplish with a little help from AI.
I think that's a perfect note to end on. So, to our listeners, we say dive into the No BS guide to AI-powered podcast growth. Unleash the power of AI for your podcast.
And most importantly, have fun.
Happy podcasting, everyone.